In this QDS training video, you will learn about using edit elements in QDS, the different reconciliation options, and specifically how to use an edit element to loop back to a previous question and resolve an inconsistency. Edit elements in QDS can be used for a variety of functions, and these are called the reconciliation options. The most common option you will likely use is consistency checking to loop back to an earlier response to modify previously entered data. There are other options as well. The first is no further special processing. This displays a message only to the respondent. The second option is reconciliation elements follow this. This will tell QDS to do a given number of additional items only if the entered condition is met. The third option is loop back to prior element. This is to resolve an inconsistency and modify previously entered data. The fourth option is to launch another control file. And the last option is to link to an external file or URL. Note that for each of these, you can add a message to the respondent. In this example, we learn about looping back to a previous response. In the tobacco section of our example survey, we have questions about cigarette use, including the questions, during the past 7 days, how many cigarettes did you smoke? Named as follows, and you'll notice that the response type is a number. And then we also have, how many cigarettes did you smoke yesterday? Again, note our variable name and again a number type response. Since the number of cigarettes they smoked yesterday should never be greater than the number they smoked during the past 7 days, we will want to add in a consistency check. To add in the edit element, first select the line below where you would like to trigger. After, in our case, how many cigarettes did you smoke yesterday? Then select the Edit Element button on the Insert toolbar. You will see the Edit Element tab with an if box. This is where you will enter your condition. In this example, we will enter the following. This will tell QDS to trigger the check if the number of cigarettes smoked yesterday is greater than the number of cigarettes smoked in the past 7 days. Notice that you use variable names in your statements and standard math functions and operators. For edit elements, there is also the option of adding a message to be displayed when the edit is triggered. For this example, we will add a message to the respondent. For example, you reported smoking more cigarettes yesterday than in the past 7 days. Please review your responses. The next step is to select the reconciliation process. Here, we will choose the third option, which is loop back to prior element. Then you will need to select the number of elements to go back or to go to a marker destination. In this example, we want to go back 2 elements. That way, the respondent can review and modify the last 2 questions. Then you'll select OK to see your edit element in the listing. Note that the edit element in your listing is red and that it mentions that you will loop back 2 elements. To test our edit element, we can build the ACASI control file and test the different conditions. So you would go to Build, ACASI Application. This will open the control file dialog box, and then you'll select Save. You will be asked if you would like to try out your control file now, and then you can say yes to open to the first screen of your survey. We'll first go through the initial screens and first enter our subject identifier and see our welcome screen and enter our gender. Note that if you're testing a large survey, it is often a good idea to break it up into smaller files for testing. Now that we're at our lead-in cigarette smoking question, we'll respond yes, and we'll respond to our first cigarette question. And then we're at our item, during the past 7 days, how many cigarettes did you smoke? And we'll respond 7. And then we have, how many cigarettes did you smoke yesterday? And we'll respond 10. This is where we have our edit message. You reported smoking more cigarettes yesterday than in the past 7 days. Please review your responses. When we click OK, this will take us back 2 elements to the how many cigarettes did you smoke during the past 7 days question. And we'll say that that one was correct, but for how many cigarettes we smoked yesterday, perhaps we only actually meant to enter a 1. And so then we'll click Next, and we'll finish out our cigarette questions, and then we'll complete our survey. Then we'll enter our password at the end if that was an option that we selected under ACASI Build Options. To learn how to add additional types of questions, responses, or edits, see QDS Online Help or other Design Studio videos.